It's another rapid fire Friday on the Diabetes Remission Roadmap podcast. Brian has been doing squats and shadow boxing for the last 15 minutes. He is in a flop sweat, and not just because he's nervous about these questions, but because he has been putting himself in a question ready stance. Brian, good day.
Good day, Cory. I'm ready to roll, man.
I just
I've
peed
never
in my
boxed
pants a
before
little
though.
bit because you aggressively came at me on the video here on Zoom, and I got scared and wet my pants just a little bit. But we're going to go through it.
Are you sure though? Are you sure it's not because you're almost 40 and you're losing control of your Just kidding. Go
Wow.
for it.
Thank you for that insult of my age. Yeah, as we record this, my wife is a matter of 5 days away from turning 40, and my birthday is in December as we record this in March of 2026. So I still have some time with the three at the beginning, and Ryan is a young guy, he's 3 years younger than me. Yes. He's just delaying, folks. He was delaying, but he actually did 13 more push-ups while I was explaining my poor old man bladder. So here we go. First question for you, Brian. What are your thoughts on fasted workouts? I'm interested in trying fasting, but I also like morning workouts. I sometimes work out fasted, but sometimes I'll eat a banana before I work out. Are there any negative consequences to blood sugar or recovery with a fasted workout?
Wow, I love this layered question. I think we gotta just slice it up. So I'll start off by saying that I started doing fasted workouts years ago when I got into intermittent fasting, and they slowly became some of my best workouts because in a fasted state, you get a gradual increase in adrenaline hormones like norepinephrine, epinephrine. So you get just like a better pump. Your body's not focusing on digestion, so you don't have this diversion of blood flow to your intestines, and now you can get just more blood flow to your muscles. So all that to be said, you have to be able to access your energy efficiently to perform well. So I think they're a great way to really start to train your body to be more metabolically flexible. So it's going to take time. So if you have type 2 diabetes, not very metabolically flexible, which is why then you might rely more on like short forms of energy, consuming it before just to get through the workout. However, if you tell yourself, I can train my body to be more flexible by not eating something and to tap more into my muscle stores of glucose, aka glycogen, and then therefore later on start to empty those stores of glucose and glycogen in your muscle and then start to access more body fat. And so you become more metabolically flexible. Long story short, you become better able to go periods of time without food. Now, that being said, certain medications you have to be careful about.
Ooh,
Sulfonylureas.
before we get into medicines, you say
Okay.
metabolically flexible and switching. So I want to just double click on that for a moment because when Brian says metabolically flexible, it means that we are able to access all the forms of energy in our body. So there's glucose and there's fat. And I like to think of our bodies as a hybrid car. You can run on gasoline, you can run on electric. And if you are not metabolically flexible, it's like you can only run on one source of energy. But when you train your body and over time you are able to access both your glucose for short-term energy, but also fat stores, it's like being a hybrid car. And you can access both of them switching off more easily versus if you are oftentimes with type 2 diabetes, you're stuck in a sugar burning state where you burn sugar, you get hungry, you eat more sugar, you burn sugar. The goal is to get you to a place as you extend those intervals between eating. And this is not a fasting podcast. We're not telling you to go fast. This was a question about fasting and what that might look like for a workout. But as you train your body to go longer intervals without eating, which is actually kind of how we're meant to be, the
Mhm.
world where we eat so regularly and there's no breaks is abnormal. So being able to be flexible there is going to let you access fat stores. And over the long run, as you build the muscle, work on satiety-based eating, and access those fat stores to burn energy, you're going to burn the fat, lose weight, improve blood sugar, and also be able to go longer intervals without eating. Brian, we're pharmacists, though. You were getting back into medicines there. Please tell us about the safety issue here. Unless
Is
I've
that,
triggered something for you to talk
well,
about.
they've triggered something else for me to talk about,
Okay.
but
All right.
I think the question comes down to, do I need to, or is it a good thing? And the answer is no, you don't need to, because likely you have plenty of, you definitely, if you have type 2 diabetes, you have sufficient energy in your body to use for these workouts. Now, in the case of high intensity athletes, they're doing some sprints, like that kind of stuff, it is necessary in those cases. They will benefit from some fast acting carbs to use quickly. But like when we're doing steady strengthening workouts, you do not your body will be able to do it without that banana before the workout.
Yeah. And personally, I also prefer to work out fasted. I actually, if I have food in my stomach, I feel garbage in any sort of activity I do. I actually ran a half marathon fasted. So,
Oh, me too. It
yeah,
did not go well.
it
Uh,
went great. It went great for me. I went so fast, my wife was not there at the finish line because she did not think I would finish that early. So, actually, you could argue that it did not go well for me because I did not have anyone to greet me at the finish line.
but so let's go back to the medicine then, because if you are doing your workout after eating breakfast, if you're doing your workout and you already took medicine and that medicine includes something that is going to drop your blood sugar
Something that
acutely,
affect a medicine that affects your insulin.
and it
So
affects
there's
your insulin level,
if
yeah.
you are literally taking a faster acting insulin or a medicine like a sulfonylurea, so glipizide, glimepiride, act by telling your pancreas to shoot out more insulin to lower sugar. So if you take one of those medicines and then exercise, which is going to pull sugar from your blood,
Well,
there's a chance that you could go low. Same
mhm.
deal for that fast acting insulin. Now, we are not giving medical advice, and it all depends what your sugars are before you start all this. But if we're talking about a fasted workout, which was the question, if you take a medicine that is either insulin or induces insulin, like sulfonylurea, and you don't eat and then you work out, you're setting yourself up for low sugar.
Yeah, and then if you want to try working out without eating something beforehand, like I say, go ahead. Just understand that it might be a little bit harder because you're not giving your body that immediate source of energy right into your bloodstream to you. So you're going to allow your muscles to train. Just ask your doctor about any medicine you're on and how it might impact, and when you should skip said dose or delay the dose until it can be more safely taken.
You could also ask your local pharmacist.
Yeah,
Yeah, really great job of helping our profession, Brian. Those
they're too busy filling
pri Oh
prescriptions.
yeah, and primary care providers are just not busy at all. All right. Yeah, so I think to summarize, if you'd like to try a fasted workout, number one rule is always safety with us. If there's a medicine that can cause an issue, then you need to work with your provider and or pharmacist with that. But I think the thing to be aware of is if you're used to eating before working out, you it might not be as good of a workout. But a fasted workout is something that many people do. And if you end up feeling good doing it, great. But your body will tell you how it goes.
There was something about negative carbs we were going to talk about. You can talk about that for a second.
I think that the idea of working out and exercise is that we are reducing the glucose in the blood. And so if we are eating glucose right before that workout, you're raising it before you work out. So you're not actually lowering it and forcing the body to pull maybe as much from those glycogen stores. But if you
Yeah.
are not giving glucose to your body before you work out and exercising, it's like having negative carbs. You're pulling glucose out of the glycogen stores in your muscles and or liver.
Yeah. Thanks for clearing that up.
Cool. You ready for the
Next
next one,
question.
Brian?
Yeah.
This one's a doozy. So, this question is: does food pairing to control blood sugar spikes work in the long run to put diabetes in remission if there's no decrease in calories? Otherwise put, can I keep eating donuts so long as it is after some protein and my blood sugar doesn't spike as high? And I think that's an extreme example, donuts, but
Yeah, I
um,
love donuts though.
yeah, food
Uh,
pairing. Yeah, food pairing,
food
blood
pairing.
sugar, and reversal, remission.
Oh, this is a great question because I see videos frequently about how is this food going to impact my blood sugar? Let's see if we take this supplement to impact the blood sugar spike, or let me tell you the difference. I eat the exact same thing, but I just changed the order, but the blood sugar spike was different. And my question back to them is, what is type 2 diabetes? It is an energy toxicity problem, right, Cory? I'm not going to go into that. We can talk about the model you created of calories in, calories out. Yes, that model doesn't work. It's broken because of all the other factors that play into
You're
it.
really coming off base here. Stay on
So,
target,
okay,
buddy. Stay on
stay.
target.
So, energy toxicity, if you are not changing the total intake, food pairings don't change the total intake of calories of that meal. Now, actually, it might impact because what do blood sugar
Oh,
spikes do?
okay, so let's go back to food pairings, Brian. Let's walk it back. You look like you're struggling. I'm gonna throw you a little lifeline out there in the ocean, right? So food pairings, what we're talking about is that when you have I call it naked carbs. So carbs that all on its own without having any protein or fat, your blood sugar will spike more than if you have previously consumed some protein, fat, and fibrous vegetables because it will blunt the sugar spike by delaying gastric emptying. The fiber in those vegetables will help reduce the amount that your sugar spikes. That's good, Brian. We're reducing the sugar spike.
Good.
Instant diabetes remission, right?
No,
Not so fast, my friend, as Lee Corso would say. Okay. Because we are in, with type 2 diabetes, we are in an energy toxicity. So if your plan is to eat one donut, but you have a piece of chicken breast before that donut, and you eat all of the donut and all of the chicken breast, you will not see as big of a blood sugar spike. However, the total energy you are consuming is unchanged. Is that correct, Brian?
that's correct, Cory.
Okay.
Yes.
So in that case, like short term, you're not seeing the spike, but long term, your body's still getting that excess energy from that donut. However, does food pairing help with a sugar spike and remission if we listen to our satiety signals in our body? Because oftentimes with a correct food pairing, starting with the higher satiety foods, protein, fiber, will make us fuller. So we will not only blunt any carbohydrate induced sugar spike after eating those foods, but we will eat less of those carb heavy, energy dense foods because we are not as heavy, thus reducing the energy intake, thus improving your chances at remission. Did I get there?
Yes. Yes.
Woo!
You
All
got
right.
there. So it's a yes, no, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, no, but yes.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Eh,
So I think here's what
Thanks for
we'll
helping me out,
I
by the
know
way.
you have I know. I'm here for you, buddy. We will always encourage you to pair foods smartly to avoid a spike in your glucose. And that means starting with the nutrient dense, satiety heavy, protein fibrous foods, followed by your carbs. You will likely see if you're using a CGM or checking finger sticks a lower blood sugar spike. That being said, the goal by front loading with these nutrient dense foods is to reduce our intake of those energy dense foods, carbs, added fats, carbs and fats together. You know what I'm talking about. Ice cream, cookies, the kind of foods that, man, I'm full, but I'll still eat that anyway. If we can reduce that total energy intake, not only will we be reducing the sugar spike with the pairing, but we will be long term strategically improving our body's chances at remission by lowering total energy intake, by improving our satiety up front.
Yes.
I think we
Yes,
answered that
exactly.
question. I'm
I
afraid
think we
to,
did.
I don't want to talk any more about it before we talk ourselves out of answering this question.
Okay.
So,
Then move on. I'll say one thing. Let me say
yeah.
one thing because
Okay.
you stole this question from me, but
Yeah.
thank you for doing that because I was apparently struggling. Is in also because the blood sugar spike can impact your hunger. Would like the say in the opposite way, eating filling food satiety before make you eat less, but having a spike before can just like the crash can make you more hungry again and want to eat more food again later. So I think if anything,
Oh,
it's the opposite. Like it can make you eat more food.
yeah. You actually bolstered the point there, Brian. I was a
So
little worried that you would ruin it, but you actually did a good job because, as you say, if you have a spike in glucose, your body responds by sending out more insulin to lower that blood sugar. What can happen sometimes is that if your body will overcorrect, send out extra insulin, and it actually drop, like you have a sugar drop, which makes you hungry, which makes you eat more. And yeah, great. We're moving
great,
on.
man.
No more words on that before we talk ourselves out of it. Last question today, a little less clinical for us. So, why have I never heard of the idea of a medication exit strategy?
Because we coined it? I don't know.
Copyright pending.
Yeah. Uh, because yeah, I think I thought of this when making our masterclass, a little soft plug for the masterclass, which you can get in the show notes, but it is in there if you want to see the visual. I don't know because the term doesn't exist before we started saying it, maybe. The idea exists
I think focus on
theoretically.
the idea, Brian, not a specific branding of medication exit strategy. Like the idea of why have I never heard of the idea of a medication exit strategy is basically how come my doctors never talked about stopping or reducing my diabetes medicines?
Yeah, I
Let me
think let's
reframe
talk
the
about
question like
what
that
this
so you
is.
get less caught up on our wording.
What is a medication exit strategy? It is exactly what it sounds like. It's a strategy to, so medications are a bridge. You have type 2 diabetes and your blood sugar is high. Medications are okay. They need to come into play at some point to reduce the damage that can be done from high blood sugar. And so but they should be used as a bridge, as a tool, not as a long-term strategy for managing blood sugar because you can get your A1C under control. It can look good by the numbers, but you're still dependent on medications. So I think the reason that it's not brought up more is because doctors don't have really the time or the energy, nor potentially even the experience to talk people through strategically behavior change that is actually going to lead to remission, which is correcting the underlying issues of metabolic dysfunction that require medications in the first place. So I think before anyone starts diabetes medication, the standard of care should be, hey, we're putting you on this medication, but let's look at some of the factors that are involved in why you need this. And then let's come up with a game plan to start gradually chipping away at reducing your total energy intake, building muscle, strengthening your muscle, moving more, getting better sleep. And as those things improve, aka like what we do with our clients, we instead, but we're not the doctor. We can't directly take them off their medication, but we help them collaborate. I was gonna say,
Collaboratively.
yeah, it's not a word. I can't say it. Or maybe it is a word. I just can't say. We help them collaborate with their doctor to get them off. Does
Yeah.
that help answer the
Yeah, it
question?
does. I think for me, I think you've never heard of it because it's so rare. Standard of care, like 1% of people are able to reverse their type 2 diabetes. So why would a doctor, provider spend time on an outcome that's so rare? They're so stretched. It's so rare. And as Brian said, they don't have the resources and time and honestly know-how to help with the behavior side of things. Like we started this, we alluded to this idea or the idea of energy toxicity. Energy toxicity is calories in, calories out. But what leads to calories in, calories out is so much more than the doctor yelling at you that you need to exercise more and stop shoving food in your face. There's hormonal effects, there's behavioral, there's environmental things that we don't take into account in the guidelines and standard of care, and that basically set people up to fail. And that's why Brian and I are here. It's to help you win because we've seen all the failures, we've learned from it, and we know exactly what doesn't work. And we basically do the opposite, get people there. So you've never heard of it because it's rare, and the doctors don't see it enough to really believe in it. And if they don't believe in it themselves, they're not going to believe in you. And let me tell you something, Brian, we believe in our listeners, don't we?
Oh, we absolutely do believe in our listeners
Right. So,
because,
yeah,
yeah, and we believe in
because
our listeners because we've seen them do great things.
yeah. We've gotten many messages and emails from people who've just listened to us, listened to our advice, and have just dramatically improved their blood sugars, A1Cs, come off medicines, avoided medicines. We see it with our community of clients, coaching clients that are coming off medicines, losing weight, feeling more energetic, sleeping better, heartburn improving, mood improving. All of these things happen at the root. Type 2 diabetes is like the tip of the iceberg of a number of metabolic issues that affect our whole body. And so we think it's a tragedy and it's an affront to the human beings that are in the standard of care that are stuck there not getting better. So that's why we're here doing this mission, which is why, Brian, we are offering a challenge to people. As we recorded this episode, Brian, I just checked, we have hit 5,000 downloads in the life of the podcast. So
Oh,
reason
sweet.
to celebrate, but we are not stopping there. So what we want to do is offer a little incentive. So if you, amazing listener, refer the Diabetes Remission Roadmap podcast to 3 people, we're going to send you a little gift. So how we're going to track this? We are pharmacists. We are not marketing experts, as you can probably tell. But if what we need to get is either a direct message or an email, all that information is in the show notes from the new listener who said they just sent us a note that says so and so sent me. Send us they can pass along your information. We'll reach out to you. We get 3 referrals from you, listener, and we'll send you a fun little prize, a fun little gift, a fun little thank you for sharing this. And if you don't want to play the game but still want to share it, that would be amazing. We are seeing the numbers go up every week. We are seeing the impact in our inbox. And boy, it just lights a fire under us, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It
So
does.
send us your referrals, send us your questions. We'll hit you back with another few questions on our next month on our Rapid Fire Friday. Otherwise, share it with a friend, rate, review, and go out and kick some butt. Brian, any last words?
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Thank you for thinking of this fun challenge
Yeah,
to really
fun.
get people to spread the good news.
Listen, remission is fun. Getting
It
off meds
is.
is fun. Winning is fun. And telling your doctor that you don't need them anymore is fun. So let's go all have some fun together. Thanks for another episode of the Diabetes Remission Roadmap podcast. We'll catch you next time.